حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا استووا أقيموا صفوفكم وسدوا الخلل تراصوا واحذروا مسابقة الإمام. Straighten the rows, fill in the gaps, double check your mobile phones. Please make sure your mobile phones are switched off and silent mode. يرحمكم الله. الله أكبر. إن اللهم باعد بيني وبين خطاياي كما بعد بين المشرق والمغرب. اللهم نقل كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس. اللهم سنجي والماء والبرد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. اللهم اغفر لي وارحمني. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو. There will be a short talk on the life of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam as a teenager after the remaining Salah. Please stay behind. فَجَزَاكُمُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وزد عنهم وأكرم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا محمد بن عبد الله بن عبد المطلب الحبيب المصطفى والنبي المجتبى ورسول الرحمة وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا مزيدا دائما إلى يوم يبعثون وبعد. Respected scholars who are present, brothers and sisters, students, Alhamdulillah, for the next 45 minutes I need your attention, okay? So you need to listen attentively because I want you to go home having learned something new today. And we're going to learn something very exciting, I hope, and something that carries a lot of weight for you regarding one of the prophets in our Al-Islam who is the most celebrated person there has ever been. More than our beloved Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. You know why? Because our beloved Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the best of the prophets, there is no doubt. Okay, he is the best. He is the Imam of the prophets, Imam al-Anbiya wal Mursaleen. But it's only the Muslims who believe in Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. It's only the Muslims who believe in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I'm going to need some interaction, okay? So do the Jews believe in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Do the Christians believe in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam? No, okay? Muslims? Yes. Do you believe in him? Yes. Who's going to read the Shahada then? Muhammad, read. Very good. Now, somebody else, what does it mean? There's no point just knowing it in Arabic with tajweed. We need to know the meaning as well. So, one of my students, what's the meaning? As you've done this in your lessons, Child's Gift. I hope so, anyway. What's the translation? Anybody of the Shahada? Do you go for it? Okay, well done. Are there any more prophets to come? Are you sure about that? Yeah? No more. Okay, well done. Okay. So, with Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, the reason I mention he's the most celebrated is because the Jews, they believe in him. The Christians believe in him. The Muslims believe in him. Okay? So that's probably about definitely 75% of the world's population. Okay? Maybe not that much, about 70, okay? Because we know there's a lot of Hindus and Buddhists as well, okay? But those religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, they all believe in Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. It is mentioned even the Hindu god, Brahman, okay, one of the gods in Hinduism, Brahman, was named after Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. How are you? Okay, mashallah. Yes? Okay. So, his teaching spread everywhere. Do you understand? Now, how many times is Ibrahim a.s. mentioned in the Quran? Anybody?
69 times.
Well done. Did you look at my notes? Okay, well done. You've learned that in where? Well done. 69 times. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He praises Ibrahim a.s. everywhere in the Quran. You find there are so many praises of him. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in one of the surahs, Inna Ibrahima kana ummatan qanita lillahi hanifa wa lam yaku min al-mushrikeen. He says that Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was a nation. Yeah? You know how big a nation is? So he says that this Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was a big personality. In another place in the Quran, Allah mentions, قَدْ كَانَتْ لَكُمْ أُسْوَةٌ فِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ. Okay, so here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that for you there is a good example to follow in who? Ibrahim alayhi salam. And in extension, this is for me and you as well. Allah is telling us that we must follow the example of who? Ibrahim alayhi salam. Authentically, it is reported that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has two friends, okay? Two close friends. They're known as Al-Khalil. Al-Khalil means a close companion. One of them we know is Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the other one is, Allah mentions, وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. Allah took Ibrahim alayhi salam as his close companion. Then also we are told, okay, that in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, فَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. That you will follow the millah. Millah here means religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So the Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our Prophet, he did not bring a new religion. This religion has always been the message, the core message has always been the same message. And what was that message? Anybody? To believe in one God. Okay? To believe in one God. Once a companion came and he addressed the Prophet ﷺ and said, the Prophet ﷺ said, Ya khayr al-bariyya, the best of Allah's creation. He said this to Muhammad Rasulullah ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ, out of respect, and this is how much love he had for Ibrahim ﷺ, he said that don't address me as Ya khayr al-bariyya, meaning the best of mankind. He is my father Ibrahim ﷺ. Now have you noticed that when we pray our Salah, we don't complete our Salah until we send salutations upon two prophets. Who are they? Yeah. So in which part of the Salah do we give them salam? In which part of the Salah do we give salutations? Want somebody else? Well then, Ibrahim. Muhammad, sorry. G. Read it. Allahumma salli. Yeah, read. Yeah, well done. Tabarakallah, ahsanallah alayk. So you complete your salah. Before you make the salam and you run off, yeah, you have to send salutations on who? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and his family, and also, yeah. Now you've all read in the seerah, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he purified the Kaaba, Ka'batul Musharrafa, he took out all of the idols. But who was it that laid the foundation or relaid the foundations of the Kaaba? Which Prophet? Yes, okay, this is mentioned in the Quran. وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَعِيلُ رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And remember when Ibrahim ﷺ was raising the foundation with his son Ismail ﷺ, and when they built the Kaaba, it wasn't like the Ka'batul Musharrafa we have now, this beautiful Kaaba, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, with the qiswa. It wasn't anything like that. They just got some stones together, some pieces of rock, put it together and made the shape of the Kaaba. And that's it. And then they made dua. Yeah, there's a very important lesson here that we learn. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at how beautiful your deeds look. Yeah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at your intention. So if you're sitting here right now just to eat pizza, okay, or because your parents have forced you out so they can have a bit of free time, then there's no real reward in that. And you don't really want to be here. You're like, keep looking at the clock, 3 o'clock, can't wait. Then you're not going to really get reward. But if you were somebody who was looking forward to this talk, and you told your mom to iron your jubbah to get you ready, well done Raheel, right? And you were the first one here, and you want to learn about Ibrahim alayhi salam, this is called ikhlas. Yeah? And this is what you're going to be rewarded for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for that. Okay? So the few moments we have remaining, let us not waste our time. I can see some of you are looking around and smiling. Okay? Don't do that. I humbly request that you don't do that. Okay? Because you're putting other people off then. I want you to pay attention. So anyway, we have so many stories of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, but today we are going to talk about the challenges Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam faced as a child and as a teenager up until the age of 15, right? Now, put your hand up if you are 5 years old. Anybody 5 here? Okay, 6. Oh, Rahma, 6, well done. Okay, just stand up for 1 minute, Ibrahim. Well done. Jazakallah, well done, okay? You can sit down now. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, and your name is Ibrahim as well, yes? Subhanallah, yes, his name is Ibrahim as well. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is his age when he first noticed that there was something wrong in his community. It was his age. Look how intellectual he was, okay? He noticed there was something wrong in his community, okay? So from that age up until the age of 15, we're going to discuss his life. And there are many other stories about Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, about the udhiyah, the sacrifice, and how it is all connected with Hajj. All this you can get on our website, on our YouTube channel, okay? There's small series that are being uploaded every single day, only 10 minutes, and I believe tonight will be part number 5. So if you go and watch those small series with your popcorn, subhanallah, yeah, you learn a lot from them as well. But we're not going to focus on that, okay? Have you subscribed to the channel, everybody? Okay, okay, I hope you have. Yeah, we'll be checking. Jazakallah khair. Okay, it's the madrasa, it's not mine. Jazakallah, okay? Ji. So let's start. Okay, so he faced a lot of challenges. Okay, some of the challenges that he had to put up with, challenging his people. Okay, trying to educate them. He goes and destroys their idols. He's thrown in the fire, which they've made this big massive fire, and they've thrown him in there. Okay, and then he's continuously persecuted to the extent that his own father, his own family, his own uncles, everybody, they reject him. They all reject him. They don't want to know him. Okay, and like I said, the most amazing thing was that he was about 5 years old up until 15 when all of these things were happening to him. We are only going to look at 5 things, 5 lessons today from the life of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. 5 things I want you to leave with, okay? The first one is the intelligence of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and his curiosity. His intelligence and curiosity. What does intelligence mean? Anybody? If I say, Rahil, you are very intelligent, what does that mean? You're very smart, you're clever, you're bright, quick-witted, right? And curious? Well done. Okay, you're trying to explore, you're trying to discover something. So from the age of 5, okay, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is asking himself questions like, why am I on this earth? What is my purpose here? What am I doing? Have you ever asked yourself that question, that why have I been sent into this world? Okay? And from that age, he was able to distinguish between right and wrong. Now, what was happening around him were people were worshipping idols that they were making with their own hands. And they would have these fairs and they'd go and sell them. They'd have a market. And they would sell their gods. And then they would pray to them. And then they would ask for things from them. And from 5 years old, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he knew there was something wrong. Because he's thinking, how can you ask help from a God made out of wood when this God can't help himself? Do you understand? And we find out in the story of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he demonstrates this by showing to his people that how can you ask something for help which cannot help you? So if, for example, if you see a lion, a big lion that's dead, I know you're not going to go near it, right? But it's dead. Can you ask that lion to help you? Why? It's dead. It's not going to respond. So Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, looking at these people, they would put food before their gods. What would happen to that food? It would rot, right? The gods weren't able to eat. So he knew there was something wrong. And he knew that their God was something that was far greater than these idols, than the sun, the moon, the stars. He knew, okay, that there was something far greater than this. And remember, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is not even a prophet yet. It's not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending him wahi through Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam, and he's being told that don't worship this and don't do that. He's just a child, he's not a prophet yet. So we learn from this is that we should be intelligent at all times, we should be alert, and also we should not follow the crowd blindly. You know what that means? Just because somebody is doing something, or a large group of people are doing something, it does not mean that that action is right, and that you can do it as well. So Ibrahim alayhi, by the way, he was the only one who was not worshipping the idols. Everybody else, Abrar, they were worshipping the Israr. Who were they worshipping? Idols. Ibrahim was the only one who wasn't. But he did not allow himself to get influenced. Today I know a lot of us, we are influenced by what? By what we see, what we watch. Yeah? So one person, he has a haram haircut, right? And the other one sees, he's got one line, Chalo, I'll do one on that side. The third one will see it, he's got two, I'll show you. He goes to the barbers, he has four. Yeah? So if somebody is doing something wrong, if somebody is doing fraud, is stealing, selling drugs, doing a lot of haram things that displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just because a lot of people are doing it does not mean it is right. So you are not allowed to do that. If your friends, a lot of your friends are swearing, right, every day, they use swear words, does that mean now it's okay for you to swear as well? No. Okay, so you don't swear, you don't follow them, you don't copy them. Okay, so like this Ibrahim alayhi salam, he did not copy. He was intelligent, he was bright enough to understand what was wrong, and he didn't follow it. So what's the first lesson? Ibrahim was intelligent, he was curious, okay, and he did not follow what was happening in his community, which was that they were worshipping false gods. That's lesson number one. Lesson number two is the courage he had. What does courage mean? Confident, brave, right? His courage to stand up for the truth. Yeah? To stand up for the truth. So when he believed that these gods were not gods, right? He believed there was a greater God. Now remember, Ibrahim was the only Muslim at that time. He was the only Muslim. There weren't any other Muslims. So he is now, as a child, standing up to his people and telling them, don't worship these gods. And they're telling him, don't insult our gods. We are going to fix you. Yeah? We're going to punish you. They threatened him. And do you think that Ibrahim ﷺ got scared? No. He stood up. He continuously questioned the people, saying that, why do you worship something that cannot help itself? This is not God. So he continuously stands up. And then what happens? One day they go to this fair. All of the people go. So Ibrahim ﷺ, you've read this in your Sirah books, wants to teach them a lesson. So what does he do? He goes to the gods and does what? Yes. Well done, ahsant. He breaks all of the gods except the daddy bear, yeah, the big one, okay? And the axe, he leaves it around the neck. And then he goes. Now look at the bravery. When the people come back and they see the gods have been broken, who are they going to think that's broken the gods? Ibrahim. Why? Because they knew he's the only one who's been speaking out against our gods. Yeah? So when they came back and they saw that the gods are broken, they said, who's done this to our gods? And the people started talking, it's that little boy Ibrahim. He's the only one. So they call Ibrahim ﷺ, right? And they say, who broke our gods? And Ibrahim ﷺ says, ask the big one. Yeah? And they're looking at the big one and they're saying, who broke our gods? And what was the response? So how do you think they felt? They felt stupid, humiliated. Yeah? They're talking to something that doesn't talk back. Okay? So they weren't happy about this. Weren't happy about this. So now what happened? They started to threaten Ibrahim ﷺ. Okay, they started to put pressure on him. Denounce your religion. What does denounce mean? It means to leave. Yeah? Condemn. Like this God, whoever this God is we can't see, stop believing in him. Otherwise we're going to start persecuting you. And they did. His father was threatening him. His father said that if you don't stop, I will stone you to death myself. Okay? So now what's happening? There's a lot of peer pressure. What does peer pressure mean? Yeah, a lot of people are telling him to leave, not to do this, okay, not to worship Allah. And what did he do? Did he give up? No. So what is the lesson we learn from this? Number 2, about his bravery. The lesson we learn is, don't listen to other people. When people tell you to do something wrong, tell them, do it yourself. If you're so brave, do it yourself. Don't tell me. Don't get involved. Yeah? Walk away. Remain silent. Be brave. If something is wrong, if somebody is doing something wrong, stand up for the truth. You understand? You are a Muslim. You should be proud to be a Muslim. You believe in the one and only true God. So if somebody tells you to do something that contradicts, what does contradict mean, anybody? That goes against, well done, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what do we do? Do you believe them and listen to them?
No.
If they threaten you?
No.
No. Okay? Well done. So that's the second lesson. The bravery of Ibrahim alayhi salam. What was the first lesson? Come on. Intelligent. Yes. Second? Brave. His bravery and how courageous he was. Now, the third lesson is his iman. This is the most important one about his iman. What does iman mean? Iman. Okay? Okay, well then, prayer. Prayer to who? Allah. So iman means believing in who? Allah. Okay? Believing in Allah. So now what happened? His iman is at risk. Whose iman? Yeah, because now they've started to persecute him. Now he's grown up. Who's 12 years old? Anybody 12, 13? Sufyan, stand up for a moment. Okay. Well then, okay. Everybody, Sufyan, okay. Sit down. He is now 12, 13 years old, and they are beating him up. They are threatening him. And they gave him 2 choices. They said, either revert back to our gods, okay, or number 2, you can stand firm, believe in Allah, but you will have to face the consequences. Okay? And he said, that's fine, go ahead. So from this we learned that he does not give up. Because if you truly believe in something, you never give up. Who's a Man United fan here? Abbas? Man United? Okay. If somebody says to you that Liverpool are better than Manchester United, are you going to say, yeah, that's fine, no problem? Huh? What are you going to do? You know, you're not going to knock them. Yeah? We don't want to knock them out. Yeah? وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. You know what that means? وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. Raheel, what does that mean? That when you fight properly as well. When you argue with wisdom. Yeah? So you don't want to knock somebody out. Right? So Abbas, let me come back to my question. Somebody says to you that Liverpool are better than Manchester United. You're going to say, yeah, that's true, that is. You're going to stand up, aren't you? You're going to stand up and fight for the truth. Yeah, you're not going to give up, right? So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he does not give up, right? He does not give up. He says, no, you can do what you want, I don't give up, okay? So lesson number 3 was Iman is the most important thing for us. When somebody tells us to do something that we know that will disappoint Allah, okay, that will earn the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we have to, what? Give up or stand firm? You know, vegans, right? Vegans. If you put a plate of chicken biryani in front of him, or her, okay, well, you think that vegan's going to have it? Yeah, he's not, because he don't eat meat. I tell you something else now. There's a community of Muslims, and this is true. This is very true. This happened in America. They've actually, Shaykh, they are passing a fatwa regarding this. There's a masla now in the United States. They're sorting out, the leading ulama are sorting this masla out. The masla is regarding vegans who want to offer udhiyah. Vegans, honestly, who want to offer udhiyah. So they went to the scholars, and the scholars have actually now have to take this seriously, because they're saying that we want to perform udhiyah, but we are vegans. Can we give vegetables instead of a sheep? Yeah? And if we do, how do we sacrifice the vegetable? And I was thinking to myself, well, just get the aubergine and cut the head off. Bismillah, barakatillah, and cut the head off, yeah? Udhiyah is done. Yeah, get the cucumber, the top out of the cucumber, Bismillah, barakatillah, udhiyah done. Right? So the vegans, they would rather starve to death. Well, I don't know about death. Okay, I think when they are on the pangs of death, they probably have the chicken, right? But they won't have it. Okay? If somebody gives you, what sweets are haram? Anybody? Skittles, right? Raheel, somebody gives you Skittles. Are you going to have them? Why? Why? Okay. Because you know that eating haram gelatine, Sibaway, eating haram gelatine does what? It's haram. But what happens when you eat haram? Do you get a Blue Peter badge? You won't remember Blue Peter. I remember Blue Peter. Not that I used to watch it, but okay, that's my generation. Born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. The best time, subhanallah. Right? So, where was I? Sibaway, yes. If you do something haram, what happens? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gets angry. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gets sad from you. So the third lesson was, always protect your iman. Don't do anything that puts your iman in danger. Do you understand that? Yeah. Right. Your name was again, sorry, don't tell me, I've forgotten now. Jannah's brother, what's your name? Akram, what was the third lesson? What did I just say? Just so I know you're listening. Iman, what about iman? Break it? Yes, you protect your iman. You know there's a beautiful verse in the Quran. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ Until the end of the verse. A lot of the ulama have discussed the difference between this verse and إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. You've all read this in the Quran, yes? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. What does it mean? Indeed, those people who believe in Allah and do good deeds. That's what it means. You've read that in many, many places. In Surah Al-Asr, yes? And then in Surah Fussilat, Allah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا. What is the difference? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا, indeed, those people who said, رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ, Allah is our Rabb, ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا, then they were firm on that, تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. Okay? So the angels will come and they'll say, don't fear, don't be scared, we'll give you glad tidings of Jannah. The difference here is, the person who is إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, he is the one who believes in Allah, who does the good deeds, but he might be disguising his iman. He might be hiding it away. But the one who is قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ, he says it, ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا, and then he's firm on it, right, is like Ibrahim alayhi. He is the one who went out and said to the people, believe in Allah, stop worshipping these gods. So when you go to school, or college, or university, and you're the only Muslim there, the only one wearing a jubbah, the only one with a topi, the only one with a beard, and people start talking about you, you don't get scared. You say, I'm a Muslim, I'm proud to be a Muslim. Yeah? You don't go to university and you're the only Muslim, and you see other people are doing haram things, dressing differently, and next day you go home then, you come back next day and you're wearing a suit, or you change your clothing, and then the haram haircut, and the beard gets shorter. As Muslims, we don't do this. We live to please, not the people. Okay? Right, next lesson. Another very important lesson, because this leads me on to my favorite part of the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay? Is tawakkal in Allah. What does tawakkal mean? Anybody? Anybody who gives me the answer will get an extra slice of pizza. Oh, by the way, we've got some free gifts for you as well at the end of the program. Okay, you're going to get free gifts at the end. And I'll let you know what the gift is at the end of the program. The question, what does tawakkal mean? Rehan knows. Ji Rehan? Muhammad? Ji? Firm. Not really, yeah. Trust in Allah, well done. Okay? Trust in Allah. What's your name? Ahmad, yes? Right, Ahmad gets an extra slice of pizza. Volunteers, okay? Okay, right. Right, it means to trust Allah. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean, trust in Allah? Okay, now I'm going to explain, don't worry, okay? Ibrahim alayhi salam, remember he's not a prophet yet. Do you know what they did with him? No, not yet. And they didn't burn him. They tied him to a post for 3 days. Yeah? They tied him to a post for 3 days. Then before him, they made this brig like a pit or a hole or ditch, something, okay, like that. And for 3 days, the fire they lit, over a period of 3 days, they're putting more and more, adding more and more fuel onto it, putting more and more wood inside of that fire. What do you think happens to that fire? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Each day it's getting bigger. And they deliberately put Ibrahim ﷺ on a post. They tied him with his hands behind his back, just so that he sees the fire getting bigger. Remember, he's Sufyan's age. He's 12, 13 years old. And by the way, they had no intention. Are you getting bored? They had no intention of putting him in the fire, right? They only did that to threaten him. You know, a bit like sometimes when you misbehave in the house and your mom says to you, if you do that again, I'm going to put you in the basement. Yeah? Now that doesn't mean she's going to put you in the basement. She might chase you around the house with a chappal or a spoon. Okay, that's a common one. Okay? Rahil, don't give ideas, right? Gee. Right, so what happens? Okay, no more details, okay? Gee. We don't want this to become a safeguarding issue, okay? Listen, okay, right. So they only did this fire so that he gets scared. And you know, Ibrahim is standing there for 3 days, he's smiling. And it's getting bigger and bigger. And they got so frustrated with him. And the leader, the king, it's Nimrud, I think. Yes, King Nimrud. He said, he gave the go-ahead, he goes, throw him inside. Throw him inside. So they untie him and they're pushing him closer and closer. And the people who were working for the king, they were quietly telling him, we're actually going to throw you in. Denounce. They don't believe in their gods. Leave your Allah. Ibrahim is silent. Until they, with a big post, because they couldn't get near the fire is too big. Then they tie him with a post, because the two people themselves couldn't get near the fire. The heat is too much. Then they get Ibrahim, tie him to a long post, and they push him in the fire. Yeah? They push him in the fire. At this point, the scholars have said that Ibrahim ﷺ became a prophet. Ibrahim ﷺ, he becomes a prophet in the fire. Okay? So what happens? He goes into the fire and he's making a dua. Does anybody know which dua he was saying? He wasn't help me, help me. I'll give you the first one. Hasbi Allahu. Ahsant. Well done. He's reading that dua. That Allah will protect me and Allah is the best of protectors. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Remember, he didn't know, that's mentioned in the Quran, that Allah will command the fire. Qulna ya nar. Ya Allah says in the Quran, we said to the fire, Kuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim. Yeah? Kuni bardan. Bardan means cold. Wa salaman. Become cold and become a source of comfort for Ibrahim. The Quran mentions this. Right? Jibreel comes and he carries the command of Allah. The fire Abbas becomes cold. So Ibrahim, no, it's not getting bigger. He's sitting in the fire. He's reading his dhikr and nothing is happening to him. The fire has become cold. And the people, the pagans, right? They're scratching their heads like, hey, what's happened here? Yeah, what's happened here? He's supposed to be burning. Why is he not burning? Look at the trust they had. He had in Allah, right? And remember, he thought he wasn't prophet. He didn't know the fire was going to become cold. Yeah. So when times are difficult for you in life, and when you think you got nobody, don't ever think that because you've got Allah. Yeah. Allah will always look after you. Allah will always protect you, right? And he didn't die. Okay. Another lesson we learn here is when Allah doesn't want anybody to harm you, nobody can harm you. Allah did not want them to harm Ibrahim, who made the fire become cold. Yeah? You've been following that story, those men who went to see the what? They went 4 miles down in the ocean to do what? See the Titanic. Yeah? They paid £250,000 to die. £250,000 they paid to go and die. And they thought they were going to come back. But Allah has other plans. وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. That nobody knows. Is it working? gone off. The electric gone off or something? No, it's working. Okay. Gee, are we okay there? Hassan, are you okay? You want to come to the front? You sure? All the special guests is meant to be at the front. Hassan, come to the front. Hassan, Acho. Come, Shaba. Come to the front. You sure? Okay. Gee. Right. So they paid £250,000 to go and die. And they will never see their family again. And a lot of these, you know, these countries like France and England, and a lot of intelligence came from America, using all of their latest technology, right, to try and save these people. But they can't, because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has destined for them that they are going to die there, right, can anybody help them? No. In reality, they thought they were going to see Titanic, right? But in reality, they went to see the angel of death, Malakul Maut. فَإِنَّهُ مُلَاقِيكُمْ ثُمَّ تُرَدُّونَ إِلَىٰ عَالِمِ الْغَيْبِ وَالشَّهَادَةِ. Your death, it is true, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Every person will die. Everyone will taste death, right? فَإِنَّهُ مُلَاقِيكُمْ. You shall meet death. And they paid, okay, you get, I think you're losing a bit of your attention now, okay? Face this way. 10 minutes, we're finished. 3 o'clock was the deadline. I'm going to finish at 3 o'clock, okay? They paid £250,000 to go and meet the angel of death. I'll tell you another story. This happened on Tuesday. One of our students, Zainab Abdul Fattah, right? Her father went for Hajj. Her father went for Hajj. He's from Gambia. He's from here, but he went to Gambia because some of his family members, they came for Hajj as well. And he was going to help them to perform the Hajj and show them the Hajj, right? Our brother Abdul Fattah, a friend of mine, who's a parent of our student, he died on Tuesday in the state of Ihram. How blessed. He went to Hajj. The best action is the Hajj. In the best days. Yeah? أفضل أيام الدنيا أيام العشر. In the best of the month, the 4th sacred month. Right? He's gone to help his family do Hajj. Little did he know he was going there to die. He's not even done Hajj yet. He's done his Umrah, he died with the Ihram. Right? And before he died, I think he had a brain hemorrhage. Before he died, he was on his, in the hospital on his deathbed, literally. And he gave out nasiyah to his family. And he is talking to his family. I've seen this clip his family have sent me. And now this clip has gone viral on SHAYKH TikTok. Yeah? TikTok, this clip has gone viral. Mama, there's over 1 million views on this. It's gone viral. Why? Because he's on his deathbed, and this English translation, because he's talking in his own language, but he's giving nasiyah to his family and then to the Muslim world in general. And within a few hours of that video, he passed away. Look how fortunate, yeah? How fortunate a death. He's died in the best of places. Imagine how he is going to rise in the day of Qiyamah. And on, when did I last speak to the mother? I think it was, I think it was Thursday. After Dhuhr was his janazah in the Masjid al-Haram. Okay? Approximately 2 million people have prayed his janazah. 2 million people. And now he's buried and laid to rest in Mecca. And he will never come back home. But at least he got to see his family and he gave some nasiyah to them. These people have paid £250,000 going down, thinking they're going to come back within 48 hours. Right? I mean, I didn't even know there are these tours happening. I mean, what do they, traveling, what do they call them? No, it's not it's submersible or something? What? Submersible. I didn't even know these things existed. Did you know? Yeah? I mean, if I knew, I'd probably sell my house and go down and see myself. But I think my house is safe now. Okay? I'm only joking, right? Astaghfirullah. I don't have that kind of money. I would never waste that money. But I think people will now think again if they want to go and see Titanic. Is left, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَعِبْرَةً لِمَن يَخْشَى. That's an ibrah for people who fear Allah. Okay? So always trust Allah. If Allah wants to protect you, if Allah wants to help you, like He protected and helped Ibrahim, nobody can harm you. Okay? And if Allah allows it, then nobody can protect you. This goes on to point number 5. So what was point number 4? Anybody? To trust in Allah. Iman was number 3, trust in Allah. The last one, okay, is he was a role model for good manners. Okay? Yeah, they've been at it for quite long. Okay, you've come to learn, to study, not to misbehave. Okay? Okay? You've come to the house of Allah to learn. So learn. Don't waste time. You'll get plenty of free time today. Okay? The fifth lesson is he was a role model for good manners, good akhlaq, good ethics. Right? He had the best manners like Prophet ﷺ. Let's go back. What did he face? He faced hostility, hatred, enmity, death threats, thrown in the fire, tied for 3 days, right, to a post. Okay? His father threatened him. لَأَرْجُمَنَّكَ. He said, if you don't stop, I'm going to stone you to death myself. You know, does anybody know what Islamophobia means in here? Yeah. What does it mean? Yeah, people who discriminate against Muslims. Why? Because you're Muslims. It's very similar to racism. They don't like you because of the skin of your color, which is haram. Or they don't like you because you're a Muslim, which is not allowed as well. It's haram, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to hate people. We're all Allah's creations, right? You're not allowed to hate anyone. Okay, and you don't make a mockery out of anyone. The way they look, the way they dress. You don't make a mockery out of people's gods as well. Okay? So look at all of this hostility. In essence, this was Islamophobia. And this is the worst case of Islamophobia, because here he was thrown in the fire. His own family rejected him. But what does he do? He continuously deals with these people in the best of morals, in the best of manners, right? Look, when his father kept threatening the son, like, you know, leave your gods, leave your gods. And he says to his father, he says, Ya abati, lima ta'budu ma la yasma'u wa la yubsiru, wa la yughni anka shay'a. Look at the wording. He says, and I want you to listen now. This is the most important part. How to speak to your parents. He says, Ya abati, oh my beloved father. Now, oi, hello. Yeah? Dad, daddy, dudu, papa, whatever you call your dads, yeah? He says, Ya abati, oh my beloved father, lima ta'budu. Yeah? Why do you worship? Ma la yasma'u. That which cannot hear. Wala yubsiru. That which cannot see. Wala yughni anka shay'an. That which cannot benefit you. Why, Ya abati? Ya abati, la ta'budu shaytan, inna shaytana kana lirrahmani asiyya. Oh my beloved father, okay, don't worship shaitan. Don't follow shaitan. Inna shaytana kana lirrahmani asiyya. This shaitan, he is rebellious towards Allah. He keeps saying, Ya abati, Ya abati, Ya abati, my beloved father. And then, when his father threatens him and kicks him out of the house, he says, Salamun alayk. Peace to your father. Astaghfiruka rabbi. I will make dua for you from my Rabb. When your father shouts at you, yeah, I want you to ask yourself this question. When my mom, my dad shouts at me, or they tell me off, how do I respond? Here Ibrahim, he's been threatened. Not shouted, his father's threatening him. He says, Salamun alayk, peace to your father. Peace to your father. Your dad calls you beautifully. Oh mera soneya, bache idra. Kya lo rahe hai? Kya bikita karna hai? Why you keep calling me? Your father calls you like, Abu Bakr. What? No, it's not funny. If it was funny, I would be laughing first. It's not funny. Because I've seen this happening in madrasa. The way the children speak to their parents. I won't give you the translation of that. You'll have to do Google Translate for that. Honestly, Shaykh, the way that, and the parents are more banne. Summun bukbun umyun, deaf, dumb and blind. You are not allowed to even say uff to your parents. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. You know what that means? Give an example, right? Is drinking sharab halal or haram? Haram. Alcohol, gambling, drugs. You shouting at your parents. Forget even shouting. You know, just do like, is haram. And I know most of you do a lot worse than that. Yeah? Pay attention. You do a lot worse than that. You're not allowed. Respect your parents. All of these designer labels you are wearing, all of these nice clothing you are wearing, it's because of your parents who go out and work. Let me tell you this. And remember, I told you this because you remember this in 10 years, 15 years when you marry. When you marry and you have your own children, trust me, you won't be wearing designer labels then. Because the money you're going to earn, your children will take it from you and you will have to dress them up. You're going to have no money left for yourself. Your children are going to demand iPods, iPads, iPad, right, and phones and designer clothes and everything. Yeah? Now you got buds as well, iPhones. Yeah? Yeah? They're going to demand everything from you. By the time you finish with them, dressing them up, you can have no money left for yourself. You're just going to wear a Sida Sada Sharwar Kameez. That's it. And a 99 pence itar bottle. Bas itna hi resi. All of these designer clothes, nice jibbers, dua, kiss the feet of your parents. Unos dua karo. Rabbi irhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. Don't wait for them to die and then make this dua. I've been given 10 minutes extra time, so we're in 10 extra time now. But trust me, I won't go into penalties. Because we lost 2 penalties already, didn't we? Gee. Right? Right. Listen. This is the most important part. Listen. Right? Your parents, they work day and night for you. You are home doing what? Pagaloin, eh? Pagaloin. Hypnotized. And if it's not that, it's Netflix. I can't watch that. That one. Oh, no, let me watch back, go to back. That's boring. Let me get to Mom, are the chips ready? Let me go back to this one. Let me go back to that one. And Cinderella Pichari, she's slaving away. Your mom is your mom, she's not Cinderella. Yeah? And your dad, he's slaving away outside, and you're there lying down on your backside. What shall I watch today? Who's playing today? No football, Premier League season finished. Oh, Women's World Cup, yeah, I'll watch that. It's better than nothing. So respect your... You are not allowed to shout at them. If you shout at them today, tomorrow you're going to have children. They're going to be a lot worse than you. Okay? Okay? Whenever you get married, it's just a metaphor. Okay? Whenever you get married, trust children, yeah? Okay, in 10 years, 15 years, then you'll find out. So learn to respect your parents. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was mistreated from his father. You know, the father didn't listen to his son. Father threatened him, but all the way through, Ibrahim was good to his father. He was kind. He gave him salam, and he said, I will pray for you as well. Okay, so I'm going to finish off on this note, but we're going to do a quick recap. What was the first lesson? Anybody? Hafiz Amjad? Is the food here? 5 minutes. Okay. What was the first lesson? I want Rayan to give me the answer. Be intelligent, be wise, right? Know what's happening around you. Know what's happening around you. There's no benefit in this. This will make you depressed, obese. You're going to have problems later in your life. It does not benefit. But I'm not saying don't have it, but there should be a restriction. And your parents are responsible for this. No, a 6-year-old sheikh, a 6-year-old child can't clean his backside. Bun saaf nahi kar sakta, lekin he can use a mobile phone. A 6-year-old child can't clean his backside. Mom, come and clean my backside now, I'm done. Yeah, but he knows how to navigate the phone. When you are 18, and you can be trusted, you should have a phone. Yeah. My Muhammad he's always asking, Daddy, when do I get a phone? I said 18, because your dad had it at 21. We had the old 3310 back then. Yeah. Gee. Right? So why do you need a phone? There are more and more, because I was a school teacher, right? And that's my field, and I did a research on this. There are more and more children now going into school late. You know why? Because they read tahajjud at night time. Yeah? Night time they read tahajjud. Yeah? Or when their parents are asleep, the phone's in them. Yeah? Listen, And they go creeping, crawling in the dad's bedroom in the morning. Yeah? And then when their parents are asleep, yeah? And they know the password, because if, you know some kids are clever. You know what they do? Dad, I think you got a message. And their eyes are very sharp. Huh? So Dad, acha bacha dinta kya? They look at the password. Oh no, bacha koi message. Acha, shaba bacha, you were looking out for me. But he doesn't know that he's taking the password. So at night time, they go. Or then they condition the parents. I'll do this. What do you want then? Daddy Funi, Mommy Funi. Yeah? Right, so they go crawling and take the mobile phone. Okay? Ji. Parents are asleep and bache doing Surah Yasin Khatam in the morning on the phone. And school as well, yeah? You go to school in the morning, big things on your ear. SubhanAllah, I said, students, you guys you are more pious than us. We didn't have these things. We had to go to school walking, looking at the trees. You guys go to school with big headphones, listening to Surah Yasin in the morning. SubhanAllah, Baw Sharif and Ji. Very good. So the first one is be intelligent. Number 2 is what? Be courageous, be brave. Stand up for the truth. If somebody is doing something wrong, stand up. Number 3, Iman. Don't sacrifice anything for your Iman. Okay? Sacrifice for your Iman, but don't sacrifice your Iman. Okay? So if something is wrong, protect your Iman by not doing that thing. That means sacrificing. Okay? G. Number 4. Not the other one begins with T. Trust in Allah. Yeah? Like Ibrahim, he had trust in Allah. If Allah does not want anybody to harm you, nobody can harm you. Okay? You will only be harmed if Allah allows it. So always have trust in Allah. And last but not least, good manners, good akhlaq. Yeah? Be nice to your parents. Listen to your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, your aunties. Right? Be kind to your next door neighbors. Right? They're your neighbors. Okay? They have rights over you as well. Don't throw litter in their garden. Don't throw eggs in their garden. Yeah? Iceland, have Iceland. What should they do that? Over the fence. Yeah? Don't do that. On the day of Qiyamah, one of the people who will hold you back from Jannah will be your neighbors. Remember this. We covered this in one of madrasa assemblies. Yeah? There are certain people that will hold you back, okay, from you entering Jannah. Your neighbors will be one of them. Okay? So on this note, I will finish off. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Right. I don't know if the food is here, so okay, how long? Okay, 5 minutes. So we'll have a question and answer and also feedback with what you have learned today, right? So let's do a few minutes of what have we learned today. Put your hand up. What have you learned new today? What have you learned new today? I'm going to start with the right hand side. Ibrahim. Haram, okay? You are not allowed to disrespect your parents. Ayman, you got your hand up. Or Akhil, sorry. You forgot? Okay, well done. Raheel? Okay, we'll come back to you. You want to phone a friend? Rehan?
You're not allowed to swear at your parents.
We're not allowed to swear. Well done. Muhammad?
Never give up.
Never give up, okay? Even in a penalty shootout, don't give up. Yeah. Those of you who cost us a trophy, missing the penalty. Right, okay, there's too many hands. I will come to everybody. Yeah, Raheel.
If there's like a whole crowd doing something that you know is wrong,
Yeah.
don't get involved.
Don't get involved, don't follow it, right? Somebody's selling a dodgy phone and they tell you, Raheel, come, I'll give you some money. Say, I don't want to know, right? Rayan. Sorry? What did you say? Okay, dua, yes, dua. Always make dua for your parents. Make dua for yourself. Well done. Yeah, abstain from, bad crowd. Always have good friends, okay? Yes, 2 brothers there. Tafaddal. Yeah, well done. Make dua for your parents. What dua? Do we know? Rabbi, all of you, Rabbi irhamhuma. Well done.
If you believe in something so much and people tell you to not believe in it, don't give up and just carry on believing it. And the person tells you not to believe in that thing.
Well done. That's one of the best answers we've had. Okay. G. Rayan again.
You're not allowed to break anyone's ankles.
You're not allowed to break. Okay. Ankles. Okay. Why is somebody's? Did somebody's side tackle you in football? No. Right. Sufyan. Quiet now. We've got our trophy-winning goalkeeper who's got a question. G. Well, G. You know everything. So what do you mean you haven't learned anything new? Okay. You're very, very smart. Subhanallah. Yeah. Okay. G. Yes. Don't listen to other people. Okay, well done. Okay, right. Now what we're going to do, I think we've had a few minutes. We will quietly, now listen, I want you to listen, okay? We are quietly going to go upstairs. Okay, no, I didn't say go now. See, you can't follow instructions. You can't follow instructions. Listen first. Okay? When I say, then we will leave. We are quietly going to go upstairs, okay? Line by line, sensibly, like, because we are humans and we are Muslims, okay? And by the way, I haven't told you your free gifts yet, have I? They say the free gift? No. Okay? And then the food will be in about 2 minutes. And whilst you are waiting, you sit down, you wait for the food, and if you need to wash your hands, you wash your hands, and you remember to say your du'as. Yes, Muhammad. The free gift is courtesy of the shop where we've purchased the pizzas from. They've given us a full case of fruit shoot. So everybody gets their own bottle. Yeah? Okay. And no clapping. Okay? Okay. The flavor, you wait and see. Okay? G. Huh? No, we're not allowed to have prime. Is that what you're hoping? Prime? Yeah. Okay. Okay, sit down. Hello, I didn't say anyone. Sit down. Okay, sit down. Right, I don't know where our volunteers are, so I'm going to need 2 volunteers. No, sit down. Sit down. Wait. Just wait. Okay, we're going to play a little game. Okay? Let's see who's good at this game. You have to sit still and remain silent for 60 seconds. Let's see if you can do that. Starting now. "45 seconds left. You're doing well so far, most of you. This is what we call meditating. In the house of Allah, I'm being serious. When you come, you're meant to relax, close your eyes, and just think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can you think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? By looking at things that Allah has created. You know, when you come to the masjid, you should look all around you. There are things that Allah has created that you benefit from. Quiet, please, quiet. Right, like you know the air that we breathe in, the oxygen, right? We can't see it. Yet if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, did you know this? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to stop the oxygen, the air that we breathe in, if Allah was to stop that for 60 seconds, 80% of the population of this world would die. And 20% would be those who can hold their breath for more than 60 seconds. Most people would die. Yeah, yes. What was that, 2 minutes or 2 minutes? Okay, 2 minutes. Right, so imagine that. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, dries up all of the oceans, right, and there's no water, قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِنْ أَصْبَحَ مَاؤُكُمْ غَوْرًا فَمَنْ يَأْتِيكُمْ بِمَاءٍ مَّعِينٍ. Who will bring you the water? Nobody. Yeah. So all of these things should remind us of Allah. the trees. When you go to the park, don't just go and play football. Sit down. This is very important for your health. Meditating. To sit down in the middle of the park and just sit quietly and listen to the birds singing, listen to the birds praying. You know, when we say singing, but in reality they're doing the dhikr of Allah. The trees around you, the wind blowing. This is very, very important for your health. Okay? We've got 1 minute left. I'm going to dismiss you line by line. Okay? So we're not all going to go rushing. We're going to go line by line. Okay? Okay, there's a brother who I think is going to pray, so don't walk in front of him. Okay? Okay, Siboy, the back line, you can leave upstairs. Go quietly. Only the back line. Go quietly, okay? Brothers, you can also go upstairs as well. You are not in the back line. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Can you do me a favor, please? Do you want to go Jannah? Would you like to go Jannah? Yes? Switch those off. 2 of them. Okay.